Hi everybody, welcome to Hospitality Marketing. This week we're going to talk about Chapter 4, which is on segmentation and positioning. A couple big words, but basically pretty simple. Segmentation means target marketing. Who are we going to go after to sell our product or our service? And then positioning is, once we know who we're going to go after, how do we stack up against the competition, basically? So, you say, why is segmentation important? Why don't we just try to sell to everybody? Well, that would be great, but imagine the resources it would take if we try to sell our little product to everybody in the city, or the state, or the country, or the world. It would be great if we could sell our product to everybody in the world. I mean, everybody wants what we've got. We can make a fortune. But not everybody wants the same thing. Not everybody has a need for the same thing. Not everybody has the money for the same thing. So, target marketing is about trying to get our product or services in the hands of those people that are really going to want it, who really need it, and are going to use it. It's the whole basic tenet we've been talking about in marketing in general, is how do we serve those people that want what we've got. That way we don't have to sell so much, we don't have to spend so much time doing advertising, because they will come to us. So we're going to save a lot of money, we're going to save a lot of time, a lot of effort by segmenting our group. So, we're going to look at a couple things here, the different criteria that we're going to look at. The first one is substantiability. Is the target market that we're going to go after big enough? So, I've got this great product, but it really targets people in their 50s who wear glasses and Springfield baseball caps and like to make videos on the weekend. Great. I'm sure it's a great product, but there are enough people like that to buy that product to make it viable. If there are millions and you can reach them, that's great, but there's only 2 or 3, it's probably not going to be a good idea. Which leads us into the next criteria, which is measurability. First of all, we need to be able to measure, is there enough people who wear glasses and Springfield baseball caps and make videos on the weekend in their 50s to make this product sellable? Do we have enough bodies, potential customers? And then 2, we need to be able to determine, are those people buying the product? So, can we measure that? Next is accessibility. And accessibility is, can we reach those people that we want to sell to? Can we get a hold of those people? Can they buy our product? Can we ship it to them? It basically is there a good connection? Accessibility. And the last one is actionability. And basically, is what we're doing effective in getting people to buy the product? So is what we're doing working? The marketing we've come up with, the product we've come up with, are people buying it, and so on. So, once we know what we want to do as far as how we want to segment a market, we got to look at what criteria do we look at to segment by. And there's a couple of different things. The first is geographic. And geographic could be people in this neighborhood, people in this city, people in the county, people in the state, people in the Mid-South, people in the southern part of the United States, the east or west coast, America, the world. Obviously, we could go as big or as small as is viable. But people are different all over the country. You heard the term Southern hospitality. People expect things a little bit different in the South than they do in the North. I just had this heated discussion the other day about Northern cornbread versus Southern cornbread. Because one group likes it sweet, the other group likes it really dry. There's a lot of differences in people in this country when it comes to our expectations on hospitality, food, and such. I've always found it interesting when I've gone to different parts of the country and found McDonald's offering different products in different parts of the country. Texas, for example, the last time I was there, they had a special hamburger at McDonald's, which outside of Texas, nobody even knew about. So geographic can be huge when we're looking at target markets. The next, we're going to look at demographics. And demographics are things like age, socioeconomic income, or how much money do you make, male or female, married or single. I think you can see why those would all be important when companies try to come up with new products. Think about a new product that comes out that meets the need of every person, regardless of age, sex, religion, wealth, color of skin. It's kind of hard. There's not too many things you think, well, what about toothpaste? Well, people in their 90s don't necessarily all have their own teeth, so that may not be a good market. It's funny, one thing that comes to mind, I think of toilet paper, and don't ask me why, but as a product that everybody uses. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of things that people use. So sit back, try to think about something. So we have to look at demographics. Obviously, those things that appeal to the older, more mature market are probably not going to appeal to kids, people in their 20s, for example, whether that be food or places to stay or movies or clothing. I mean, you get the point. So demographics are huge when companies try to segment their markets. The next thing is psychographic. And psychographic basically has to do with lifestyle. It's funny, I think about that Matthew McConaughey commercial that's on TV. I believe it's for Lincoln, where he used to drive this car before he was famous. So people look at this and they say, well, that's the lifestyle I want. I want to be Matthew McConaughey, or at least be like him. And so we might segment and go after a group of people like that, that wants that type of a lifestyle, or make those lifestyle choices. The next is behavioral. And behavioral, we're going to be looking at certain behaviors that people do. We see this a lot when you have like frequent diner cards or frequent traveler cards, frequent flyer miles. These are certain behaviors that are trackable. For example, a coffee shop I go to locally, I have a little frequent diner card that I have punched, or whenever I go in to get coffee. Starbucks, Gold Club member for Starbucks, so they track my shopping behavior of when I go to Starbucks and stuff, and then hit me with certain coupon offers and specials based on that. So basically, companies can target based on the behaviors of their potential customers. The casinos, for example, use the term whales for people that come in X amount of times a month and spend X amount of money. Fast food places have similar terminology for people that come in on more than regular basis, as their key customers. And the last thing we look at for criteria benefits, or what are these people seeking? I use Subway as an example here. People that go to Subway are looking for something that's made fresh right in front of them. I mean, why don't you see drive-thrus for Subway? It's because the whole thing is we're appealing, as a Subway, we're appealing to people who want to pick out what they want on their sandwich. They're willing to spend a little bit more time in order to have this kind of benefit. They want to see the food, they want to pick out the product, and that's why you don't see Subways with drive-thrus. So I guess, we're looking at it as quick and easy, or is it going to be a little more expensive and take a little bit longer? Those types of things. What are we expecting to get? Now, once we've set up these variables, then we're going to look at how do we reach these people. We're looking at the segmentation strategy. And the first one is a mass market strategy. And that's basically where we have one strategy, one product or service, and we're going to try to hit a large target market. All right. We use the early McDonald's as an example here. When I was a kid, I remember going to McDonald's with my dad, and it was there was no drive-through. It was a walk-up only. no place even to sit inside. You walked up, there was a little window, you could see the guys in the paper hats actually cooking your hamburgers. You had the big arches, and it was amazing. But they had hamburgers, cheeseburgers, french fries, cokes, and milkshakes. And that was it. They were going after fast food. Their whole market was just the average populace, nothing fancy. Now we've seen that change through the years. For example, now you see all the kids' meals and the healthy meals and things like that. But in the beginning, their mass market appeal was just everybody who liked fast food. And it obviously worked really well for them. The next method is a differential. And that's where one company might go after different segments of the market with different products. So here we look at Choice Hotels as a good example. Choice Hotels owns about 6 different hotel lines, including Clarion Inns and Suites, sounds really nice, all the way down to Travelodge. Well, they're both good, in their own way, but Clarion Suites appeals to somebody who maybe wants a little more in amenities, maybe willing to pay a little more pricey of a room, or Travelodge is more budget minded. So same company but offering different concepts under different labels. The nice thing about that is you can reach more people but still be able to target market and really key in on what makes those different things or operations successful by keying in on the people that go there. The next one is a concentrated strategy, and this one basically is we have one simple strategy. It's a smaller market. We don't change it, and this is who we're going after. There was a hotel chain in Indiana called the Signature Inn, and basically it was for business travelers. You did not go there to swim in the pool. You didn't go there for the restaurant, because there was none. You went there because it was a kind of a Spartan room with a business traveler price, had a nice recliner chair, a nice bed, but then also had a great desk and computer set up. So it was made for people who were on the road doing business and didn't want a lot of frills, but wanted to get in, simple check-in procedure, and then either get to work or get ready for work the next day. They were always located around a lot of fast food and restaurant places, since they didn't offer one, to give the weary business traveler a nice choice of places to eat. But that was their market. They weren't interested in expanding their market to getting in families and such. And it was very successful. So now that we've got our segment, we know who we're going to go after. Now we're going to look at positioning. And as I mentioned before, positioning is basically figuring out where we match up to the competition and what we need to do to position ourselves better so people will use our product or services. So I'm going to give you a couple criteria here, and then we'll go through an example. So first of all, we determine what customers are looking for when we're trying to position ourselves. If we try to do what we want to do, we're not going to be very successful. Once again, the basic tenet of this book is and of marketing is trying to make a product or provide a service that people want, so they'll keep coming back to us. So we don't have to advertise as much and sell so much, but the business will work on its own. So determine what customers are looking for. Next is look at current offerings. Maybe we can meet that market without making any changes. Maybe we have to change a little, maybe we have to change a lot. Maybe we find out by looking at what we offer, we're not going to be able to service this other market. But we need to look and see what we're offering. Third is look to see where there are gaps. What do people look for, and what do we have? Simple as that. They may want this, but we offer that. Which leads us into the fourth step, and that is develop a strategy to fill in those gaps. So we know there are gaps in what we offer to meet this market. What can we do to make them happy or get them to use our services? So let's give you an example here. Say you've just bought a new restaurant that serves gourmet food. You open at 7 o'clock in the evening, very low lit, extensive fancy French menu, whatever. But then you find out that the area that you're in has a large number of senior communities. And so you do a little marketing, target, or a little bit of reconnaissance, and you find out that this group is an early eating group. They like things that